I think it would behoove us to pay more attention to, the social emotional learning of educators themselves,
Hmm.
and by proxy, what they can bring to learners. So explicitly teaching these skills.
That's a really interesting point. First, I want to say thank you for your vulnerability. I appreciate that. I know that there are people out there who are going through or who have been through mental health struggles and feel like they're alone. And so one of the reasons why I share the struggles that I've been through is so that people know, hey, I like you're not alone in this. And then two, that you can get better with it, like with therapy, etc. They're not a permanent thing. But I'm to jump onto what you were just talking about. It's really interesting that SEL is often discussed in relation to students, but the way that you just framed it also talks about it in relation to teachers as well. And that is a conversation that honestly I wish we had more of as a field.
And it is happening in pockets here and there. Was just at a conference called the Systems Awareness Lab conference. The Systems Awareness Lab is a relatively new lab at MIT, led by Meta Bull, Peter Senge, and they're the two main leads. Eric Klopfer is also involved. My friend Lana Cook is an important part of it. And I was at the conference last week, and they absolutely are thinking about, we'll call it SEL for lack of a better term, but wellness and mindfulness for members of the educational community, not just students, but also educators. And there are other places it's happening. Given the trend for the last 20 plus years has been we're losing teachers. And at least the last 20 years, that's when I've been in education enough to know about it and pay attention to it. It may be longer than that. The last 3 years of the COVID pandemic, have certainly accelerated the, career changing from teaching to other places, retirement,
Yep.
and, the mental well-being of anybody in schools has plummeted. There's plenty of evidence to show that, research and otherwise. So the more we can do to provide people with coping tools, and I want to very much emphasize that coping tools are just that. They're coping tools. They can be important in the rest of your life, and they're crucial to have, but they're coping tools. They're not a fix for the system, which in many
Yep.
ways has a lot of room for improvement.
Yep.
So we don't want to drive people to the point where they need those coping skills, but recognize that right now we have a system that does necessitate